July is the perfect time to reset your life. We are halfway through the year, but we're not quite at the point where we're rushing to hit our goals in December. We can just take a beat and relax. But I also want to say, no matter when you're watching this video, I promise you are here at the perfect time. If you need a refresher, if you are looking for a way to get back on track with your goals, this is for you. You probably set some goals in January or maybe December for what you wanted to accomplish this year. And usually by the summertime, we are starting to look around and realize that either we are on track and everything is going well, or we are completely off track. Maybe we don't even remember what our goals were, let alone whether or not we are going to achieve them by December. And wherever you are is fine. Most people are somewhere in the middle. The first thing that I want you to do for your mid-year reset is to actually go back and look. What were your goals when you set them in December or January? What were the intentions that you had for yourself this year? And it's important to go back and see what we said we would accomplish, because even if we feel like we're really far away, we just want to remind ourselves what mattered to us back when we were connected to a sense of possibility. A lot of the times around New Year's, it's so easy to dream big, and then when life starts happening and it's, March, April, if things aren't going the way that we hoped, it can be easy to just pretend that we never had those goals in the first place. And if you can't remember, or if you can't find the piece of paper where you wrote them down, then I want you to take some time today and actually sit with what are some of the goals that you have for yourself for the rest of the year. So I want you to look at your career, your finances, any important relationships that you are in with family members, friends, partners, physical and mental health, and then anything else that I didn't name, whether it's an experience that you want to have, maybe there's a trip you want to go on, maybe you want to move into a new place, maybe you want to get a car, whatever it is that you want to do by the end of the year, just write it all down and be honest with yourself about it. If you are a person who has trouble naming what you want, a hack that I like to use is I'll ask myself, in a parallel universe where there are no rules and everything is possible, what do I want? If no matter what you wanted, you would get it, what would you want? And the purpose of this is not to shame yourself or start to wonder if you can pull things off. It's really just to check in with your heart and be honest with yourself about what it is that you want to create for the rest of the year. So I'm actually going to be going through this week too, and so this is the perfect time for us to all do this together. Once you've set your goals, practice imagining the version of you that already has these goals. Some questions to help you get there. If you have a journal around, you can look at, when I have these goals, what does my day-to-day look like? What else is possible for me once I have achieved these goals or had these experiences? What are some of the memories that I'll be enjoying once I've experienced these things? And then another thing that I like to look at is, what are something that you are currently experiencing in your life now that will go away once you have achieved your goals? So for example, if you are experiencing some restriction around your finances and you don't feel like you can afford all the things that you want, that will go away once you have hit your financial goals. Or if you are experiencing loneliness and you're feeling isolated, once you have hit your friendship goals or once you have manifested your partner, then you will have that go away. So what are some things you're dealing with now that will go away once you've achieved your goals? That could be another way to get into it. But we really just want to connect to the version of you that's on the other side of this journey. And once you've really fleshed out, like, what does that life look like for you? What is that version of you experiencing? I want you to ask yourself, how does that version of you think? So what are the things that they're saying to themselves throughout the day? What are they proud of? What are they grateful for? What are they looking forward to? What is this person's inner dialogue like? This is important because even though you can't go out and physically experience all the things that version of you is experiencing, you can start to practice the thoughts. And you can practice the thoughts today. Like, if the version of you who is in a new relationship is really grateful for their partner, you can practice being grateful in advance that your partner is on the way. Or you can practice being grateful for all of the loving people that you do have in your life, even while you are still manifesting that one specific person. But I want you to really just start to access the mindset of the future version of you who you are becoming, and really just get in touch with what are their thoughts And I really recommend doing this in a journal if you have time and if you have space, because writing things down is how we tell our brain to focus on something and how we tell our brain that something is important. So as much as possible, write these things down, sit with them. You can even create a little moment where you play your favorite music, you light a candle, and just let yourself express onto the page. So look at the mindset of that future version of you. And then we're going to do something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's really important. I want you to think about your transition self. So your transition self is the version of you who bridges the gap from where you are today to where you're going. So your future self might be sitting on the beach in Europe, like, with their friends and family and their partner, really enjoying themselves. And you might be sitting at home today. And we want to build the bridge to get there. And usually that will mean different habits, different routines, different ways of showing up in the world so that you can actually create that outcome that you want. And so think about what are the habits and the routines that you would need to have in order to transition yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. And you can think about this in terms of habits that you need to stop doing, or you can think about this in terms of habits that you need to start doing. So I like to do both. Maybe you want to feel more connected in your friendships and you're noticing that you spend a lot of time just gossiping and talking bad about people, but you don't really spend time asking your friends how they are and really checking in with them and getting to know them more deeply. So that could be a habit you want to break, is just like spending all your friend time gossiping, and then a habit that you want to start is checking in with your friends on a deeper level. But you get to come up with habits for you based on what your specific goals are. And these are actually the kinds of things that I do with my coaching clients. Like I will really sit with them and figure out, like, if you are here and you want to get here, these are the things that you need to start doing and these are the things that you need to stop doing. And in my coaching consultations, we actually do something called bridging the gap, where I will really ask everyone who does a consultation with me exactly where they are right now and exactly where they want to go. And we will step by step create the plan for how they're going to get to their goals and to where they want to go. My consultations are a free service, and if this video has been resonating with you, I would really recommend that you check it out. But back on script, once you know your habits, your goal, and this is how you're really going to reset your life and have the reset stick and be impactful, your goal is to do those habits regularly. So if that version of you is going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, you want to make sure you're going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. If this version of you is cooking meals at home, you want to make sure that you're cooking meals at home. And remember, this is not your future self, this is your transition self. And so your transition self is a different version of you that you need to step into so that you can ultimately get to the future. So for example, if your future self has, bought a new car, maybe right now you need to save money. And so in order to save money, you need to start actually cooking your meals at home. And so your transition self is cooking meals at home so that your future self can have a car. I hope that this makes sense. This is something that really, really shifted a lot for me. But when you step into your transition self, you're stepping into the version of you who is making those decisions that is going to set you up for the future. And so for the rest of this year, I want you to show up in the world as your transition self. You want to let go of the habits that they're no longer doing, and you want to step into the habits that they are doing regularly. And to help you with this, I actually have a free productivity habits and routines journal guide. I'm going to link it down below. And that guide is going to show you how to create new habits in a way that sticks and how to be productive and how to really show up in line with your goals. So if that's something that you're wanting more support with, I will definitely leave that for you down below. Make sure you check it out. But really, that is the key to resetting your life. You want to make sure that you show up as that transition self every single day, and showing up as your transition self is what's going to make your future self and your 2026, 2027, 2029 goals inevitable. That is what's going to make your goals for the end of the year inevitable. Okay, so this has been a short and sweet video, but if you actually sit with these prompts and take some time to really process everything that I said, you will get a ton out of it. I love you. I'm rooting for you. If you are interested in more content from me, I actually have a podcast. It's called the U 2.0 podcast. I have over 185 episodes on there, and it's more of this: personal development, productivity, manifestation, changing your life. I even have content on building a spiritual business. So anything that you are interested in those realms, definitely go check me out on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. And I cannot wait to see you again somewhere really soon. Mwah! Take care.